back, everyone. Let's call to order the regular meeting today, January 10th, 2023, the first SPAC meeting of 2023. Welcome back, everyone. Hello, everyone. We will be having a new council member joining us. Her name is Blondine Young. She'll eventually join us here shortly, and we'll give her the old SPAC welcome when she arrives. Blondine is I know personally she's heavily involved in arts and is a little bit of a coordinator herself. She hosts events locally, and that's how I kind of crossed paths with her. But she came across the office in the mayor's desk, and so she will be joining us.
Sure she is.
In fact, here she is, walking in now. And hi, Blondine, how are you?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Here, come on, we got a seat for you here. And we got meeting notes and minute notes. I'm just calling the meeting to order and welcoming you.
Thank you so much.
I wonder, perhaps we should just go around the to introduce us.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll go right around the table. Ellen, you're first.
Ellen Blaylock, and I am a visual artist living in Syracuse, and I have an artist in residency at the Swineford, and I've been on this
August Commission.
this commission for maybe about 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Benny, also a visual artist, work with the La Casita Cultural Center program of Syracuse University. And I've been on this commission for about over a year now, approximately. I can't remember. It's been a whirlwind of a year, so. So come.
I'm Tina Zagiva. I'm also an artist, and I think I've been on the commission for 4 years or something. So.
What kind of artist?
I am an interdisciplinary artist.
Nice. I'm Michael John. I'm the current chair of SPAC and concerned citizen and small business owner.
So you're not in the arts? I'm Blondine. I am an actress, singer, writer, director, author, and producer. I own Black, which is the Black Latino Asian Artists Coalition here in Syracuse.
I'm Davana Robity. I work at the Schweinfurth Art Center, but I'm a Syracuse City resident, and I'm also an artist. And has it been 2 years I've been on here?
Probably
1.5?
Probably 2-ish.
Yeah, coming up too.
Yeah.
So it's been 2 years now.
Lauren Bolden. I am a small business owner. I am educated in the arts, and I think I've been on the committee 3 years now. I don't know, it's a guess.
Nice.
Emmanuel Carter, Department of Landscape Architecture at SUNY ESF. I've been on the commission at least 5 years.
And I'm Kate Aueter. I'm the public art coordinator for the city. So, thank you. And I've been on the commission for a long time. No, I don't actually. I'm not actually on the commission. I'm just here to staff the commission. So.
All right. Awesome. Very good. And did everyone have a chance to review the minutes? A chance, yeah. Okay. Wonderful. And so we do not have old business.
Oh, just in terms of the minutes, are there any corrections, revisions, comments? Yeah.
Any comments on minutes per se?
If not,
Okay. Very good.
Approved by acclamation. Then. Okay.
We do not have old business, although we do have old business because it's a new year. But we do have some things to discuss, and you'll see further on in the discussion we have year in review, as well as our work plan for next year that we're going to begin talking about. But in the meantime, we do have new business, and that's SPAC 23-01. Annika is here representing the Urban Video Project for the Spring 2023 exhibition, and she has handily put together a little presentation. Annika,
shall I take it away? Okay, great. Thank you very much, Michael John. So I am presenting Lightwork UVP's proposed Spring 2023 exhibitions. It is part of our ongoing year-long program, The Porous Body of the Earth. They will be projected using our outdoor architectural projection equipment onto the north facade of the Everson Museum of Art as looping videos. The first of those exhibitions is Sofia Galicia-Moriente Lluvia con Nieve, or Rain with Snow. That will be on view February 16th to April 1st. And the second is TJ Cut Hand Extractions, which will be on view April 6th through May 27th. We will have a couple of related events for people who want to have a kind of more robust encounter with the artists. There will be an indoor screening and Q&A featuring both of the artists in person on April 20th at the Everson Museum of Art. And we'll also be streaming that event fully captioned on probably May 25th, though that's still TBD. Let's see. Okay, so we will be featuring both those shows. They're both part of our ongoing program here, The Porous Body of the Earth, which features artists who explore issues of environmental racism and regimes of violent extraction. So both of those shows will be 2 7-week slots, and there'll be a combined event for both of them together. So I'm going to cover each piece separately. So we'll start off with Sofia Galicia-Moriente's Lluvia con Nieve, Rain with Snow. It is 13 minutes and 30 seconds long. It was made in 2014. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe I'll read the short synopsis first, and then I'll play a segment of it. In 1955, Paramount News, the eyes and ears of the world, projected in movie theaters around the United States images of a plane landing in Puerto Rico carrying 2 tons of snow and a family from New Hampshire, and also the thousands of Puerto Rican youth that received them in a baseball field. These 40 seconds of film, which are the basis of the piece, are possibly the only surviving audiovisual document of an event that persists as a foggy memory in the conscience of most Puerto Ricans. Rain with Snow is a double projection that tries to visualize the ideological production processes behind these images of political spectacle, zooming in, stretching out, and manipulating the last cinematic vestige of this moment as a way of interrogating the role of images in the formation of national identity. So let me go ahead and play some of that. Again, sort of fast forward through it to give you a sense of like some of the different pieces of it. So, as the statement said, the piece is based on 40 seconds of film that have been manipulated and slowed down and cropped in various ways, I believe also. So you get this really dilated temporal thing happening. And you'll notice that it gets slow, like the music actually becomes slower and slower over the course of the work. Is that good? Yeah. Okay, so shall I read a little bit of biographical information for Sophia? Born in 1986 in San Juan, Puerto Rico, she is a Puerto Rican visual artist whose work resists colonial forces of erasure and claims the freedom of historical agency, proposing mechanisms for remembering and reimagining. She has been a fellow of the Smithsonian Institute and the Flaherty Seminar and participated in residencies such as Alice Yard in Trinidad and Tobago, Farah in Uruguay, Fonderie Darling in Montreal. She's exhibited in the Whitney Biennial, which actually was the piece that was shown in the Whitney Biennial back in 2019. The Queen's Museum, IFA Galleria in Berlin, and Museo de Arte Contemporáneo de Puerto Rico. From 2014 to 2020, she co-directed the artist-run organization Beta Local. She is currently a fellow of the Puerto Rican Arts Initiative and the Cisneros Institute at MoMA. I don't know if you want to handle this as like two separate applications within one, or
I think we should probably do both
together.
Both together.
Okay.
And then I know this is sort of part of a ongoing series too, so maybe you can talk a little bit about that at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, if the commission is interested.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer
a little bit more.
any questions. Yeah, absolutely. How long is it? It's 14 minutes. Okay, so that brings us to TJ Cuthand's Extractions. It is a 15-minute and 13-second piece from 2019. Extractions traces parallels between natural resource extraction and the booming child apprehension industry in Canada. As the filmmaker reviews how these industries have affected him, he reflects on having his own eggs retrieved and frozen to make an indigenous baby. This work is part of Cuthand's series, the Indian Survival Trilogy. The other two pieces in that trilogy will actually be screened at the April 20th event. We will be working with the artist to caption the voiceover portions of the video for the screening in the plaza. Okay, so go ahead and play some of Extractions.
Someone asked me recently if there's any type of funding I wouldn't accept to make art, and I said resource extraction money. But then while I was laying in bed last night, I realized I already had. I'd gotten a scholarship in my undergrad from an organization funded by resource extraction companies. And my reserve got some land a while back that had oil reserves on it, so they've been giving out bonuses at Christmas based sometimes on oil dividends. Other times they give us payments from selling our gravel, the stuff that the nearby Hutterites sometimes come to steal. The irony of selling our own land back to white municipalities is kind of too much to think about. I am against resource extraction and a culture of anti-indigenous misogyny that goes with it, in regards to man camps and rapist murdering security companies here and abroad. I don't think we are really needing more gold or oil or diamonds or lumber. I like to think there are alternatives. I like to think we already have enough and just need to distribute it better or something. We have solutions, but we only lived on this land for many thousands of years before colonization and seem to be doing well with it before industrialization happened. I feel like our systems of management were good and beneficial for everyone who lives here, even the animals, especially the animals. I feel like I want to know more about what life was like before this apocalypse happened here. I feel sometimes hopeful that maybe everything will collapse and we will go back to these old ways of being, like my blood memory will remember how we survived in tough times.
I apologize for the sound quality of the projector here. Hopefully you all had a chance to preview it in a better listening situation. And I can play some more parts of it, or whatever makes the most sense.
Most homophobic and transphobic redneck towns in BC and Merritt, there was a large logging industry that kept the town going. There's really only snapshots I have of that place. Only brief memories, like how the boys in junior high kept cans and cans of chewing tobacco in their lockers, like painting the stupid mascot on the gym wall because they found out I liked art, like climbing the mountain on weekends for something to do, like this huge thing that burned in the night. The huge thing was metal, like a cone. They called it a beehive burner, and it was filled with waste wood like chips and sawdust and small pieces they had no use for. And at least once a week when it was full, they would burn it all. It would glow red in the night like the most malevolent force, like something in a Disney cartoon that signified death and anguish. It was just the lumber mill. It was just lumber burning, but that town gave me so much trauma as a new genderqueer kid who didn't even know that I was queer yet. That beehive burner became a kind of shorthand for the ignorant evil that lived in those other teenagers. Those logging, ranching, chewing tobacco teenagers who hated queers and Indians. We got out of there 4 months later, and I went goth for a few months until I realized I was for sure an actual homo and things would be okay. Not better, just maybe more interesting, just maybe okay. Beehive burners got outlawed. Too much pollution. Wow, we're getting more counts now.
More or good?
Good thing, Erica.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and give you TJ's bio. Born in 1978 in Regina, Saskatchewan, TJ Cuthand makes short experimental narrative videos and films about sexuality, madness, queer identity and love, and indigeneity, which have screened in festivals internationally, including the Tribeca Film Festival in New York City, Mix Brazil Festival of Sexual Diversity in Sao Paulo, Imaginative in Toronto, Ann Arbor Film Festival, Images in Toronto, the Berlinale in Berlin, New York Film Festival, Outfest, and the Oberhausen International Short Film Festival. His work has also been shown at galleries and museums, including Ramey in Saskatoon, the National Gallery in Ottawa, the Whitney Museum of American Art and MoMA in New York, and the Walker Art Center in Minneapolis. He's a trans man who uses he, him pronouns and is of Plains, Cree, and Scots descent, a member of Little Pine First Nation, and currently resides in Toronto, Canada. He's at work on his first feature.
Excellent. So then, do you want to speak to the fact that it's an ongoing series?
Yeah, I can. I'm happy to answer any questions. Each year we try to kind of govern or put the artists that we're showing over the course of the programming year into conversation with each other, so that there's a chance to kind of develop something, you know, over a period of time, and in a kind of, you know, I guess an intertextual way where like you've got different takes on the same set of issues or concerns. And so this year it's really been a focus on environmental justice. So that started with the work that I presented in the fall, Sunil Sensgiri's Golden Jubilee and Colectivo Los Ingrávidos and the Batalla trilogy. And so that's continuing this year, this spring rather, and I feel like these two artists, it's maybe less obvious in the two exhibition works, but both of their work is interested in the ways that queer intimacy can be a kind of antidote to environmental injustice and like ongoing environmental injustice. So that's kind of the link there.
Interesting, very good. I'd like to call for a motion to...
I will motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. And welcome, Anita. Anita is also a council member. This is Blondine Young, who will be joining us as a new SPAC member.
Fantastic.
And just wanted to throw that out there. We'll do another further introduction later. So Tina for the first and Anita for the second. Is there any discussion before we take the vote, or any questions for Annika? Nope, as always, Annika comes well prepared, so we know what we're talking about. So thank you for that. So I'd like to make the vote, please. And for those of you doing so, please wave to the live stream and keep your hand up for the yays. And so all those in favor of voting for SPAC 2103 to pass, please raise your hand if you're for UVP project. It looks like we are unanimous. All for. Yes. And so thank you, Annika.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up here and bearing with us with the with the tech here too.
No problem.
It ended up
Thank
working
you.
out. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very good. So that passes, and we will move on to the next part of the regular meeting, which is
Michael John, if I could
Yeah.
just say, in terms of the meeting schedule, which I realized I did not include in your packet, but I did send out to everyone, just as per usual, the plan is to meet the second Tuesday of every month, 5:30, and just making sure that that is acceptable to the commission. So,
Oh,
as
okay.
long as
I know
it's
that we
good.
had some stuff that we were trying to figure out poll-wise,
I
but
think people's schedules have shifted again, or shifting, so I think we'll stick to the date for the time being, but,
okay. Good.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. So, on to discussion. We have a couple things. Thank you, Annika. We have a couple things. We have kind of like a draft here on the bottom that you guys saw. If you want to pull that up. This is once a year anyways. There's kind of like a annual report that occurs that goes to President Helen Hudson there. And you know, it shows anyone who was a member before, who's a current member, and then it talks to what we did, this front and back here. So it brings up some different things that we've accomplished this year and things that we've started doing that will continue. You know, Annika is pretty automatic with the urban video product installations throughout the year, so we can always count on those. But this year was a pretty big year for murals, both public and private. It was the first year in our records and reckoning for a while that we've had so many projects going on at the same time, which is interesting to deal with publicly throughout the media.
Excuse me.
But it's obviously as this new year here, this 2022 of SPAC, we were able to turn a corner, I think, and thanks to the American Rescue Plan funding for the city as canvas that Tina took the reins on. And so before we move forward at all, I just wanted to say that we all need to give Tina an extra big round of applause because she carved into that. And although she and I spoke on the phone often about every inch of the process because we care about it, and it was like our baby, it ended up really falling mostly on Tina to do the actual administrative work, and she did a wonderful job getting the program going. It was difficult because it was a federal money. We need every single detail down to the last centimeter, and so there's a little back and forth and a little learning curve there, but we learned a lot in the first few cities canvas. So now Karen Greenfeld has kind of taken over that admin role in the meantime for the second half of the program, and she's kind of on the TNT sector side of things, being the coordinator. So they were going to have the vote for the first one, but it did get postponed, so we still haven't had the vote yet.
For the south, is that for the south side mural?
Yeah,
Okay.
the next, the next.
Location. The location rather than the mural itself.
Exactly,
right?
just
the
the
RFP
location.
hasn't gone out? Okay.
And so, but anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because obviously Cities Canvas is what kind of really brought it out into the public, and that program so far has been pretty wild. It's the 3 artists that have done it are quite talented, and we had to use this weird voting system that was not fun to explain to people, let alone do, but it ended up really oddly working out, and these artists got these opportunities. It's pretty cool. We've had some great submissions so far, so we're pretty pleased. Obviously we only did 3 this year, so that means there's 5 this year, so last year. So basically trying to get a few of them in order early in the year so we can come out gunning in the spring with multiple. So that's the plan, and then obviously we had a bunch of public murals. We had 2 or 3 public, including the National Grid at the park, and so these public murals bring up something too, because obviously the last time the public art master plan was adopted was like 2018, 2019 or something like that, readopted by Ben. And I think we have an opportunity to kind of work towards the goal of revisiting the master plan, and so we've devised a little mini council that has worked a little bit on that, and we've had a few meetings in regards to it. What we'll do is continue to kind of narrow the scope and then put it in front of everyone, where we'll all kind of move forward and really get it down to the document that we want to readopt, taking into consideration some of the things that happen, like when it's a private, how little input SPAC really has into the process, and it's just like a formality. So we need to maybe tweak some words and some things like that to make sure that, you know, it's not, it falls still under that we're not curating, but we are, or gatekeeping for that matter, but rather making sure that there's an educational programming part to all the art that happens, whether it's public or private. And then also, you know, just making sure that there are a clear, defined set of rules that must be abided by, rather than this, you know, back and forth, and, you know, to get to the goal of making it happen. And, you know, and then City's Canvas is, as a point was made to be only public artists locally that really are from the area, from the neighborhoods, from local. So we really had to, you know, rethink some strategies when ARPA was like, they must live on the street, like 2 blocks away from the building that's being painted, and it really wasn't, it made it difficult, but we were able to navigate some of that. Yeah.
Is it really 2 blocks away?
No.
No,
These
like,
are
that's an exaggeration, but basically that's what it felt like.
Very
Yeah.
close, yeah.
And what it really came down to was it instantly took players from the area who are Central New York muralists out of the program pretty much overnight. And so it was a kind of like a, whoa, that was wild. And we were able to navigate it, but the goal for 2023, besides 5 more murals with 5 more local artists, is to really try to see if we can like drudge somebody out of the woodwork and bring them into the program, you know? So the educational side is quite important.
Educate a young artist on the potential of the opportunity.
Yes.
Who would not otherwise.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Not dread, yes.
so Kate's done some work negotiating with some different types of artists, and we've had some express interest from known quantities like Cayetano, and actually Audra from 3 of 4 Designs, who did the large mural at Salt City Market, to have a mini conference of sorts.
I think, I
Like
was
that?
going to say,
Yeah.
yeah, that for I think that there may in the end be a series rather than one large one, and I think that so starting smallish and simple, but with a sort of a broad scope that Audra will be able to sort of bring to the table, and then, you know, based on the success or the interest, because to have so the larger group of artists come in. So the idea is to, what I've been talking to a couple folks about is inviting several artists to come and actually have hands-on opportunity to work with new and emerging muralists.
Yeah.
That is a pretty big ask of not only of the artists but also of funding agencies at this point. So I think that we have to prove first that we'll be able to we have a market for this locally. You know, the first one would be more sort of an introductory type of a program. anyway, I will be getting those details out to everyone. But I think that, one of the, sort of circling back to City as Canvas, I think that with Tina stepping away from that managerial position there, I think that SPAC needs to make sure that we are being as supportive as possible to make sure that the ball continues to roll. Not that it's not, but in any way that we can. We were able to rest a bit on our laurels because of Tina's efforts, and so having someone new coming in and working on the program may need a little bit more support from SPAC.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we try to keep up with Karen, who's doing it.
Yeah.
We said open door policy, if you have questions, hit us up, and she's been going and doing it. This is really the first one. Tina gave her a chronological timeline of basically it's laid out for when the sectors will have their meetings and moving forward. But
I think that's gone out the window.
Hasn't yet.
Yeah, Southside was
It's
supposed
shifted.
to do theirs last fall,
Okay.
and I had timed it out to not interfere with other things within TNT.
Okay.
But I think there's some that has been changed. So,
Okay.
So there, with the transition, there's transitional issues. So, so I mean, the program is obviously very much alive and kicking.
Right.
But as I say,
Would it
is
be
as
beneficial?
supportive as we can be
Yeah.
of Karen
and also per the contract is that the funds need to be spent by this year.
Right. No matter what, it has to be.
Otherwise, it's a use it or lose it type situation.
Right.
Would it be beneficial to invite Karen to the next meeting?
I think,
updates.
possibly, I think definitely circling back around with her and making sure that she has everything that she needs to be able to move the program forward. So, possibly if she was interested in coming, we could certainly invite her.
Let's you and I have another little get together with her. Get the updates, and then, of course, the next meeting is.
February the 14th.
Is it really?
Sorry, guys. This happens every few years.
So,
Wonderful.
Can I just
we all fell in love with
Can I just take a moment to say that I think this is amazing how much we've accomplished and are working on over the past year. And thank you for your leadership and helping us into this new direction, because I think it's I'm proud of us. I don't know how everybody else feels. But.
Well, I think sort of going through so we have City of Canvas, but filling in be not behind that or with that are these educational and professional development materials that Van and certainly Anita, Anita worked on to bring them together. The public art registry that everyone had a real say in. Again, I think Devana was really, I remember lots of commentary. So, and then the social media, I think that it has raised the profile of the program tremendously. There's a lot more excitement and interest. I've been able to use the registry in terms of sending out information to people who want names.
We should do an email blast to the registry about our year in review.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because, and we should do some social media about it to let people know, because people might see pieces of what's going on, but
and not connected.
That
good call.
all of this moved through this committee this year, and we were all involved in it.
And at the website, the website. The basics are on the website, but Lauren and I had a meeting a few weeks ago, I think it was.
We've had a couple of meetings.
That hopefully we will actually be able to spin out. The city is looking at providing potentially some additional funds to be able to create a more interesting platform for the public art than what we have at the moment. the basics are there.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, I've also been working with another group, what do they call it's the folks who are putting all the city's data out into the ether, right?
Yeah.
And about putting the public art inventory out there. So we've got already in the inventory, we had all the geographical information.
Yes.
So we're able to have a map that you can press a button on and pull down some very basic information about whatever piece of art you're looking at. But we need to sort of do some backfilling in terms of photographs, and but that can go into the rudimentary website that we have now, but then can be filled out when we get something that's
Wonderful.
better.
Yes. And in City's Canvas, there was the Cayetano built into his budget documentation. So Black Cub.
No, that was through a separate.
Oh, that was special, right?
Yeah, that was through the Delavan donation, and I actually commissioned them to do that.
There you go. So there was documentation for the first one, and then it kind of set the tone. So Cecily had someone who did some documentation, and I brought Michael Calabrese to the opening, and he got great footage. And then Dan Bingham actually hasn't done. He's going to come back in the spring in Eastwood and continue, and by the time he starts again, he'll have someone on board. But there's a couple of private CNY Arts and Cultural Recovery grants that are still in play potentially for documentarians to document the processes for City's Canvas. So there's a strong possibility that we have a nice body of work that is local documentarians only for local artists. So if we play it right and we get them to do a few more, we should be able to have pretty solid 2-3 minute pieces that are easily QR code in the corner of the mural, watch the video, this is how it came to be type of pieces, which would be pretty cool for all intents and purposes. But obviously documentation was something that we were heavy on too, so that's kind of
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
if we get it ready in time, or do it twice, but we should do a press release to Syracuse.com, because they've been really good about doing little articles about each mural.
Yep.
But I think because of some of the backlash with the basketball mural,
Sure.
it might be helpful for people to see the whole thing. And since a lot of that happened on Syracuse.com, I think a press release talking about 2020 year in review with all of the works,
Yeah,
a
once
little bit of footage to them of
Sure.
everything, and it, they might grab that. They've been really good at it.
Totally. This goes to Helen, President.
President Hudson, yeah.
Of Common Council, right?
Of the Common Council, that's correct.
And
yeah.
then,
yeah.
And then it's the template's there, so it's easy to translate into anything. So we could easily.
And I would just encourage you just to take a look, because I know this is the first you've seen it, but take a look, over the next couple of days if you can, and just if there's anything I'm missing or anything that's missing here. One of the things I thought of doing actually would be helpful is to actually get images of each of those murals and everything, because it just looks like, if we're looking just to get it out, if we can get this out the door before the end of the month, that's fine. But getting images to attach to this, and then that ties in very easily with a press.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back into the Google Drive and look at the Excel of the years, because I believe that if you add up all the numbers as they go, 12's pretty close to being a banner year for how many things were done in a year.
anyway, yes,
I
yeah.
mean, so just, I want
Yeah.
to see, just, I'm
Yeah.
curious as to, last
Yeah,
time
and
there
that-
was,
and
there
that
was
could be
full
part of
piece of
the-
public art,
Part of the information that goes out.
Okay.
Did anyone take pictures of the City as Canvas meetings?
Yeah, we have those,
there's
yeah.
a few.
Yeah, I got a
That-
couple too, yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
important too for that.
Yeah, the
too.
turnouts were great for those kinds of
Yeah.
things too, which is important, so,
To show that the community is participating in the work,
sure.
all part of the initiative.
Kate, when you go to present this to council, or do you present it?
No, it's not presented,
Oh, it's not
we just
presented.
send it.
Okay, gotcha.
We send it in.
I was gonna say, do you need some commissioners with you or something? But
It's difficult to get I've tried to do the public presentation before and had like one or two counselors show up. So, really, this is, for those of you new to the board or new to the commission and or who, the commission is supposed to just send in a report, an annual report to common council. So I
Can we
think
link a video? Would they?
we could
I
try.
think
I mean, we could just provide that,
If
yeah.
they're not gonna read this,
Yeah.
they might watch the video.
Who knows? They
Makes
may.
them feel civic pride.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right,
No, that's why I'm thinking the more photographs, the better.
sure, okay.
So we can certainly provide links. Yeah, yeah.
Excellent, okay.
All right.
And then, so the registry is something too that obviously, once it hits the webpage, will be a little more accessible. Right now, we try to send it out the best we can. We actually used it a couple times even to remind of the calls for City as Canvas and stuff too. So, I mean, at least we know that when we hit the button, for the most part, 90% of the people who sign the register are seeing these emails because there's responses coming too, which is cool. But the registry could be, could use still, like we talked about, we need to dig a little deeper into the communities and get it in places that aren't
See what you're saying.
internet cafe friendly, for example, and try to really kind of reach out a little bit to try to get some more action for these opportunities. And so it can become that tool for when someone who's a property owner really wants to like do something and has a bit of a vision, we can be like, boom, there you go. There's the 20 or so that fit the bill, and spread some of this opportunity around. And so that still remains to be of the goals that we came up with last year, the thing that needs a little more massaging to get out more, I think. And anything helps, but
Yeah, yeah.
I do like the idea very much of the year in review. That's easy for us to do. I have a lot of that stuff, so what I'll do is I'll kind of put together a little email thing and show it out to you all guys and say, check it out.
Even like I know they're horrible and I hate them, but
or
Instagram,
whatever.
well, Instagram Reels right now,
Yeah.
Instagram's really pushing that out.
Mhm.
Throw it on there. Put it, just start
Sure.
putting it everywhere.
Yeah, the social does well. The Instagram is nearly at 800 without any kind of promotion whatsoever. So it's like getting there, it's inching up, which is, reason. It's also, you can tell that it's people who care. So it's not like, randos who are just like clicking
Well,
on it.
and then the
So-
people whose murals are featured can link, reshare,
Yeah.
oh, check out this, and that
There you go.
helps build the following too.
I also, like, not for nothing, but I think it's one of those years too where there's like, do you guys remember the gentleman who wanted to do the scuba diving center on Erie Boulevard, and he came in with the piece, right? Well, he finished
It's
it,
beautiful.
right? And we did revisit it with him and talk to him a little bit. He did get a little more money from them, and different artisans came and helped. That girl from Connecticut who came up for a weekend and drew all the fishes, and so he had that little mini collective finish it and put it across the line for him, which is pretty cool. It looks great. I don't know if you guys have driven by it or been out there or whatever, but so that's a real kind of win. It's 3 different stories. It's like community member privately pushing a mural across the finish line and going through the process. It's local artists painting for the program. It's this dude from Ithaca who really wanted to do it and, you know, made it reality. So, I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of like a tale there. Like, look at these cool little tidbits
Did
that
we
happen.
collect
You know?
those artists' information and put them on the registry?
Yeah, we require them to do it if they apply.
Yeah.
So we made it.
No,
a
but
prerequisite.
you're right, though, they're not
I just throw their
necessarily on
emails
that.
in the list.
Yeah.
I'd find other emails and throw it in there because there's someone who's come to Syracuse,
Yeah.
painted on a work,
Right.
have established talent.
Yeah, we
should
have
be
the stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, we can add them. Yep.
letting them know about other opportunities.
I kept the. Remember how he like brought in examples? But
Yeah,
they were like
I still
actually
have it,
like
yeah.
miniature versions. I kept it. I thought it was like a funny piece to keep, but I like.
I have
kept
mine
it.
framed.
Yeah,
Did you?
I know.
Nice, yeah.
I had like a poster frame and I just put it on there. Funny
That's awesome.
enough, it actually like fell the other day.
Oh no, he like gave a couple to us, and I was like, let's take them. You know, like
Yeah, no, those are great.
Okay, yeah. He
Yeah, that
he
is-
had a body of work too. Like he had done it
Oh,
down
yeah.
there. He had done a couple of stuff. But like those little like personal tidbits worked out nicely. You know what I mean? And then the only other thing I said is, it does have an inventive spirit, but like inventive spirit was like a pretty special, thing. Like the artist has this beautiful, quirky indoor-outdoor studio out there, and the City Works people. I have a lot of pictures and a lot of videos of this, but the City Works people, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dudes working together to figure it out. And the first attempt just wasn't working right to get this giant 12-foot sculpture off of the back of the U-Haul, like tilt it, hold it, twist it, turn it, bring it, lift it, and bring it. And they started bringing it into the pad, and they're like, this isn't gonna work, the tree's in the way. So like right then and there, the City Works guys stopped them, like thought about it for a second, figured out a better version. They moved some things and like they put it back on, and the whole family was there, and it was like a big deal. It was cool. It was like a nice presentation,
And so just as another small tidbit, this is something that Lauren has been very helpful with, is coming up with a template for our signage.
right.
So we've got now,
Whales
there's a
Tail.
sign for that. It's hasn't been installed, but they were going to have we'll have a little event in the spring for the unveiling of the sign that goes with Inventive Spirit. But now we have a template that we can provide applicants in the future for this is what.
Which is cool.
you know.
They're really cool.
And it's not very expensive. Skilled Trades makes the little stand, and the signs themselves are, yeah.
I mean, did
it's great.
you reference the whale's tail in the program?
Whale's Tail was actually not this year, it was the previous
I
year,
feel
yeah.
like
But Whale's
Yeah.
Tail is actually going to be up for renewal, because that was a two-year
Right. It's coming up.
loan. So that was something that we can discuss with those folks too, if we
Okay.
want to renew that piece, if we want an additional piece, if we want a new piece. So they've got a lot of artwork and.
Many of those by that artist.
And plenty of those by that artist, yeah.
Yeah, right,
But
yeah,
a different
exactly.
art, we may look for a different artist too. So I think that's been a success in itself too, so. yeah. Anyway.
Okay, cool. And, yeah, so great job, everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Great job, everyone. And 14th will work for everyone. Sorry about that. We can keep it. Maybe.
Yes.
And, yeah,
Bring the
exactly.
heart box.
Yeah, that's right. And chocolates will be
Um,
served, yeah.
What are some of the locations for the upcoming year, for this year, for the mural?
For City of Canvas, you mean?
Yes.
So the way the program works is like the different sectors control that. So TNT, it's in order, so South Side's first. So South Side folks who have buildings or properties that are interested kind of like go and start the process. and then they bring them all together and they vote. So the neighborhood chooses the location first, and then kind of like you start it back up again with artists. You put the call out now that we have the location, and like start back up again, and then the artists get to go to the TNT meeting in front of everyone, present, and then there's ranked voting, and then the votings just get tallied from that meeting and the canvassing the neighborhood, and then whoever wins wins, and off they go. And then we have our folks we work with, like outside vendors and such that are all local, the art supply store and Sherwin-Williams for checking the walls and things like that.
So it does not come back here?
They don't come back to us until it's at like its final stage, and where the artist has the final rendering, and they come in front of us. Yeah. So we're like the last leg of the process, but leading up to it, it's really TNT has the reach that it has. So TNT and SPAC really had to work together to kind of like reach out to artists a little bit more and get them involved in the City as Canvas program. So that's kind of like the hybrid role that we play in supporting them, in addition to just being kind of like helpful through the process. And really, Tina created the forums and all those things, and then they went in front of everyone anyways before we put them out. But basically, the process is pretty good. It's pretty set. But then it's up to the neighborhood to really set the tone. I know that dreaded South Side mural that we bring up often is on the list.
One of the
so the odds are it's going to be the one.
That will not be funded with City as Canvas funding.
It won't be. Okay.
No,
Okay.
that will not be. That is that bridge you're talking about?
No, not the
No,
bridge.
the old mural that said the word Southside that was
Oh,
like done by the
right.
students.
Yeah, that's one of the
Oh, I thought
locations.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
there's another one that keeps coming up that they
Oh, the
want.
under the bridge, yeah.
Yes, and it's just damaged from the water damage, and that,
London Lads piece.
yeah,
The
that,
one
Yeah.
that has the word South Side on it.
That's one
That's
of
the one that-
the
That's the one.
locations.
So that one is on the
yeah,
list.
that's a location,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is on the list at least. So it's a votable thing for the neighborhood, but it seems to me like the neighborhood is all pointing at that one. So it seems like they all, for the most part, are thinking that might be the one. So we'll see. But the vote's yet to occur. But so then once the building manager, the property owner is like established, we kind of learned in many different ways that the property owners maybe assumed that they'd be heavily involved in choosing what imagery is going to go onto their buildings. And so that's the opposite of the program. It's meant to be a civic theme, and that's the only real stipulation.
Community decides.
Right.
They're offering their space, they have to be under the agreement that they will accept
What the community decides it wants.
And so we're really going to make it quite clear up front
Can the
with the
property owner
owners.
vote?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes. And so,
I think that wall is owned by the church, right?
It is.
yes, yep.
Or
So that
they're-
means that he can bring all of his folks out.
Right, exactly. There you go. There it is.
Yeah, but also I think the way that we made it more equitable, or at least the way I designed it, was I created postcards and canvassed around the location so that you really couldn't stack the room, which is one of the first mural votes for the Delavan. There was a couple artists that thought that was the case, and we had actually handed ballots out at the Delavan and also around the neighborhood. So stacking the room had no effect on their winning, which they
Yeah, so the ranked voting really does even the playing
Yeah,
field.
the ranked voting is really great
Yeah, and
method
it
of
went
doing
really
it.
smoothly for,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't seem
Yeah.
to have any pushback, I didn't have any negative.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
It does.
We just have to make sure that everyone actually does full rankings and doesn't leave anyone out.
Yeah, that's the
You know, or
problem.
else
You have
it's
to
just
have
gonna-
all the numbers filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does work, and it does kind of steer it, which is nice. And then we're going to have kind of a unique thing. We're going to have like a class of 8 local artists with like their little quasi mini teams that help them, with only a few local vendors that are part of like the collective that have been helping the program. So when we like put it all together, it's going to be 20 some odd people that made the city as canvas physically a reality across the board, and we'll have a nice little like thing. I think the goal would be that City as Canvas 2 becomes a reality, and it's not canvas, but is City as landscape art, it's City as light, it's City as whatever, and giving a different type of artist a chance to come in and do a similar thing and build the collection in a different way, and giving us some cross-platform type stuff. We did run into some things like artists wanting to digitally print their work and slap it onto material that could be hung onto walls and different things along the way.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
have you guys seen the Auburn mural of Harriet Tubman?
It's printed, yeah. It's delicious.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Was
and
that Arthur?
that was Arthur, and it is vinyl.
Arthur the artist.
And I've talked to the people who printed it,
Uh-huh.
and I mean it's rated for 10 years, and if something is damaged, you replace a panel. They
okay.
even worked with the building owner so that the portion of the mural that goes over glass is like a vinyl that has it's like spotted, but you can still like.
You can
Oh,
so you can see out of it. Yeah.
Cool.
And the color and vibrancy is great. The artwork
Yeah, it's
is
nice.
great. So it does open up the opportunity for different types of artists
Yes.
to.
There's another one coming too, DRI money
Yeah, I think
for
the
that one
problem
up top there.
with that one that requested the printed version, that I had called that company that was going to print it.
Yeah.
And the woman that I spoke to was like, I can't guarantee it'll last past 2 years.
So I'll get the card for. I think they're A&M Graphics in
It's
Auburn.
A&M.
They're in Auburn.
Yeah, AMM. They're
Yeah.
they're
And
they're
they
local to
guaranteed.
Auburn.
They
The
guaranteed
colors
it.
are
The
guaranteed
colors,
for 10 years?
Yes, they guaranteed it. And that, if anything, I was like, well, what would happen if after 10 years, you want it replaced? Because this is Harriet Tubman's town. Like, we want this mural
Yeah,
forever.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, we'll reprint a panel.
Yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to, is
Yeah.
that they're not afraid to do it. They're like full service. They do like everything.
Yeah.
Signage company, Todd LaFlame.
That
they
would be really,
funded.
really good information to have, because there are a number of, what I'm thinking too is the quality of some of the wall surfaces, though,
Yes,
might
yeah.
not be able to accept
Well,
paint,
this was a
but also
newly
then the
prepped
digital
surface.
artists.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, the
and that's
building
actually-
owner prepped
And a
the
lot
surface.
of murals all over the country are done that way.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
indeed.
so in terms of using the word slap on, it's like that's just another way of doing murals.
Yeah,
Really
it's
open
tough.
up.
It's tough
Kinds
because
of artists to be-
Yeah.
That we get
Oh.
to.
Find a way of expanding
Yeah.
so that maybe some digital artists can do
Yeah.
that.
No,
And I'm
100%.
not just talking about one particular one, but there's a lot of digital artists
Yep.
all around the city that would love to be able to be included.
So some of some of that education is tough. There's also only a few companies that really could pull that off. So that's a kind of like
I'd be
you were-
interested to know the cost.
I think the other issue was the cost.
of that mural
Yeah.
It was the
was
cost,
Cost, yeah.
Because it was
Very expensive.
$18,000 total. The budget, we have the budget somewhere.
Okay.
Because Auburn fundraised for it. And some of that fee was the installation. I asked him the number, and I think he told me it was 10,000.
which is
For
quite low
installation.
actually.
Yeah, I think it was surprisingly low to me.
Yeah.
And that's a huge mural. It's a very large
How
part.
big is it?
When you're driving from the Schweinfurth into downtown Auburn, you see it from a very long way off. It's a big, prominent mural. Actually, he said the main issue with that one is that the building starts on top of another building. So the mural starts on, so they had to do scaffolding. And they were on the roof, and there were some concerns with that. So I think that was part of the additional.
Well,
Problem.
scaffolding is
Yeah,
really expensive.
installation is probably the
Yeah, so
Hardest
there
part anyways,
was
but-
that, but the total mural was around 30,000. I could give you just the exact number, but I don't have.
No, that would be
Yeah,
interesting.
I'll
Yeah,
find that information at work somewhere and.
yeah. Todd LaFlame.
30,000
That
for
is
materials and installation?
It's an awesome.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Um,
30, I will say 30 to 40, because my brain is saying 36, but I don't know where that number came from.
okay.
And I have one more question.
Yeah.
About the front of City Hall.
Uh-huh.
What's going on with that?
Oh, so it got postponed into the spring
Yes.
because what happened was the Eager city folks paved it to get it back in like good shape, and then
The pavement.
and then
Was to
and then
create a canvas for
Yeah.
it.
Bloomberg gives us like a representative to work with, and the representative was like, well, congratulations, it has to cure and you have to let it like actually like dry, and because it's like too late basically, so you gotta do it in the spring. So we asked, could we do it in the spring?
Yeah, we did
And then it got
that way.
And
postponed,
it
so,
will,
yeah.
it will still happen, but, yeah,
So the money is still with us for.
the money is still there.
And it will continue to
Yeah.
be there for another year, I
And
guess.
it will basically give, is it Jessica, is that?
Yeah.
Jessica, right? It will give Jessica the opportunity to also kind of like begin the campaign of like a little more community engagement to do it, and everyone to come out
We
and
should
help.
encourage her to go to some of these small events.
Small
Yes,
events,
To
yeah.
prep for her.
absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, and,
All right.
I had actually a couple of emails, she's working with some suppliers right now.
Okay,
with
good.
Special asphalt paint, and the problem is that it's so porous when it's fresh, it just.
Soaks it up, yeah. Yep,
So
exactly.
we're hoping that this interesting winter will have done the job.
Yeah, we had,
Yeah, I don't know,
they said that, and then it was like 70 degrees in November. We're like,
yeah, well, again, I mean, maybe that works
You
in
know.
our favor, and, perhaps it does, I don't know.
Heat cures.
But it did feel better. And there's a small council that was devised that has Kate, Office of the Mayor folks, and a few other people involved to kind of give her a support team too. So she's good to go. But yeah, that will happen in the spring. And then I mean, I think it looks like we covered our bases, just tweaking a little bit, so I'll get the imagery working a little bit. I'll email, and I definitely have a bunch.
Okay,
I didn't-
great.
I didn't-
So we'll coordinate on that.
Yeah, I didn't miss an unveiling this past year, so.
Right.
We have footage, you know what I mean? But, so that's great, and, everyone just, take your right hand over your shoulder and pat yourself on the back for the work you've done this year. But really, honestly, thank you all, because it's been great to see with the coming out of the pandemic and the transition, and, having, a changeover in the commission and the councilship membership, having such a nice cross-reference of folks with connections to institutions and educational things, as well as practicing artists. We've really kind of come together as a commission to be able to make some of this a reality. So it's impressive to see that as volunteers how much we've actually accomplished, and so thank you all. And then just to get it going, we wanted to kind of talk 2023 a little bit, and what's to come. We kind of already had done so a little bit in our discussion here, but the one thing I just wanted to bring up is, as we get closer with the website will be a powerful tool for us, obviously. The registry, and that I think it's time to kind of turn towards a little bit of who is SPAC. So I'd like to recommend to you guys, and you tell me yay or nay, but we went around the table. I just kind of came up with the idea. We went around the table to introduce ourselves to Blondine, and then I realized that maybe people don't know that who SPAC is because it's just the name, right? I'd like to be able to say, I like to scream from the rooftops when I get the email from the Everson that Ellen's got like a class she's teaching at the Everson. I'm like, oh my God, I want to like email everybody, right? So we have personal lives where we're doing things in the arts and culture, which is cool, but I'd like to be able to do, look, these are all the SPAC members, and maybe even do simplified
A little bio for everybody.
bios and
Okay,
features
yep.
and stuff for the website, and then thusly the social media if you're comfortable with that. So just shoot it out there, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe I put it to you to make your own bios, and then we just, go from there. Yeah, cool. Dope. Anyone else have any big dreams for 2023 here?
In our personal lives, like to be millionaires.
There you go.
Fortune, Elton.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm teaching a class on Tuesday night, and it was supposed to be Thursday night, and they switched it to Tuesday night.
Oh, it did switch, okay.
They did. So, so it's a class called Arts in the Community. So there's like only 7 people in it. Is it okay if they come to a meeting one time?
course.
I think it would be great for them.
Yes, please.
Yeah, 100%.
It's always open.
The best part about being the teacher is you tell them what to do. You
No,
tell
it
them
would be
to
great
go.
to
That'd be great. That'd be great. I think
Promise
it's a
them
great
snacks or
opportunity.
So, yeah, and, yeah, and if they have questions or whatever, I mean, yeah, no,
Totally.
it's great to have
So
classes
unlike
come.
Cass to just change things at the last minute and give unexpected announcements. So out of character.
Yeah, right, exactly. I was, okay, so it's cool. So it,
Yeah, I won't have this problem again. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
End of the semester.
But Anita, is that for the sake of like you coming and having the kids come here for the sake of it, like so that you could still be a part of the meeting, or
I
you
would
mean
think
like?
I would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
part of
okay.
the
You could
meeting
be part-
still, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And maybe we can, we should talk about it to make sure that we have some good things lined up.
Yeah,
for-
exactly, because it could
for
be.
the
any-
agenda as well.
Exactly, yeah, right. Okay, minutes, now we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, on the other hand, I was
Yes,
thinking
yes.
the next time they could ask questions,
Right.
you could explain what this does.
No, it's, so, my husband teaches a preservation class
Oh, okay.
at ESF, and he always is scheduling, he's like, I'm gonna bring the class to a Landmark Preservation Board meeting. And without fail, the one he selected, there'd be nothing on the agenda. Or, it'd either cancel it, or it would be just sort of meeting in one discussion item or something, like, and,
No one
Yeah.
can come.
and it's just, so anyhow. So we'll make sure
That'd be
that
great.
we
That'd
pack
be-
the agenda in
That's
some
great.
fashion. We'll-
Yeah, that's awesome, Anita. I'm glad you asked.
We have until when? Oh, yeah, that's the other, yeah.
Through April, please.
Through April, okay.
The meeting will be the last out.
I do have a question. I was wondering, have you heard anything further on the website?
I have not heard anything, and I will,
Okay.
in
I
pulling
kind
this
of-
together this evening, I thought, I better.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would let me know, but
Yeah,
just
no, we haven't.
also
We-
thought I'd check in.
Oh, and I don't know, Benny and I were talking about this once, but I wanted to bring it back up just because I thought it'd be kind of cool. The logo is adopted,
Yep.
and it's like official by the city finally. So Ruthnie gave it the go-ahead.
Yeah.
So now that it like exists, I think that there might be kind of like a low-hanging fruit opportunity to create maybe like simple items or swag that could be for fundraising. Like I can guarantee you that if I said, check it
We'll
have
have to discuss that
We'll have to look
because
at it?
it is a city,
Okay.
it's a city commission.
Right, but
and
if it went towards the educational programming,
We would have to, I just have to
Okay.
set it up with the
Right, something to
powers
consider.
that be, how that would work.
okay, cool. I just thought it'd be kind of cool, like if you showed up and, brought like a sticker and a t-shirt, all of a sudden you're throwing a few bucks towards the educational programming and,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, it makes sense, but I'm not sure, but we're not a not-for-profit in the
Okay.
normal
And if we
sense
could
of the
maybe
word.
get a local artist involved to help create that
Yeah,
stuff.
limited edition.
Yeah, I mean,
Now we're talking.
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Swag, put it on the list.
I'm gonna swag.
All the
Awesome,
city
okay.
departments should, then you could have a Parks and Rec,
Yeah, that's true.
DPW.
Yeah. They gotta
do
wear
have
uniforms anyways, let's make them a little cooler, right?
They have logo.
We could arrange uniforms for everyone if you would like.
That would be easy.
No, that's self-approaching right up.
Can
Right.
we requisition vehicles?
Yeah. Cell phones for everyone.
Yeah, there's been some Artmobiles over the years, right? There has been.
I'll take it.
Art commission.
Very good, so, with that, I'll adjourn this meeting. Thanks, everyone. See you on
There's
Valentine's.
a motion.
Oh,
to
can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll move.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Second.
Second. I'll second.
Okay, great.
Third, fourth.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Meeting adjourned.